the second portion of the presentation, I will go in the nitty-gritty of known issues for the product. I organized them in a couple of themes. One is the general issues, the second one is regressions from 2009, the third theme is QAT, fourth theme is customization, and theme number 5 is repaint. In the general bucket of known issues, I need to mention some ribbon anomalies when the screen resolution is changed while Inventor is running, or when the Windows theme is changed while Inventor is running. The workaround here is to restart Inventor. Another problem is that the text on Ribbon UI can appear blurry on analog monitors. The advice here is to switch to an LCD monitor and use a DVI cable. You can also adjust clear type settings, and I give here a Microsoft web page that can help you with doing this. A couple more general known issues. One is the fact that the icons in the ribbon are slightly different from the icons that you might find in the browser and the context menus. The 5 new icons on the quick access toolbar and the application menu are a little bit jaggy, as you can see from this example. And the third point I want to mention is the color schemes. The color scheme might reset to Cobalt if you switch to a non-admin Windows user. A couple of things that we classify as regressions, so things that work not so well compared to 2009. First, Engineer's Notebook has a small problem with inserting of objects. You can use the command from the legacy toolbar instead. The document title sometimes doesn't show up in certain workflows, like maximizing windows, doing a save as. The new line character used in context menu infiltrates as a block. So you see here a context menu, and when I use a repeat command after doing application option, you see a block symbol in between the word application and options. Pressing F10 also activates the ribbon key tabs, so there is kind of a conflict between the sketch visibility toggle and the key tips. You can of course assign different shortcut keys. There is a conflict between the color dropdown and the orbit command, or the F4 command. It makes that you stay a little bit longer in the color dropdown than you would prefer. So to get out of that situation, just hit the graphical screen a couple of times with a couple of clicks, and you can continue rotate. You cannot change a normal point to a center point in an assembly sketch either. The workaround there is to add the classic toolbar to your UI, and you can use the functionality from that toolbar. Here are a couple of problems I want to highlight. The first one is with Engineering Notebook. When you try to add external links, you can perfectly go through the UI and select the links, but in the end nothing shows up in the browser. The second problem I want to highlight is with context menus that contain line feeds. So in this case I execute the application option command, and then I look in the context menu for the repeat, and it shows that block symbol between application and options. The third problem I want to highlight is the 2D sketch toggle that has a conflict with the F10 shortcut key. So in order to get a more comfortable sketch toggling, the best thing you can do is go into the Customize menu and change F10 to something differently. In this case I use VS. And you can now use the VS shortcut key to toggle your sketches. Another problem I wanted to highlight is the color drop down. Once you are in the drop down, you cannot go fast to the rotation command. You stick to the color drop down. So click a couple of times on the graphic screen and your rotation can proceed. In the assembly environment, there is a small problem with points in assembly sketches. So I create a new assembly sketch here, and I create a couple of 2D geometries like a circle and a couple of points. At this moment I can switch the nature of the point to center point, but I cannot go back. This problem does not exist in the part sketches. I want to mention a couple of inconsistencies with the QAT as well. You cannot reorder the buttons in the QAT. You cannot add a command directly from the application menu to the QAT, but you can do this via a workaround by going through a user panel first before you go to QAT. Adding more than one macro button doesn't play well with QAT either, and opening from Vault when added to QAT might disappear if you start loading or unloading the Vault add-in. Couple of known issues concerning customization. When you attempt to import XML files, do this when no documents are open, and then restart Inventor to avoid anomalies. The user command panel can behave somewhat unpredictably. First of all, the order of the panel itself can change amongst other panels, so the order gets reshuffled, and the order of the buttons inside the panel is not persistent either. Macro buttons will show up twice in the Tools Customize dialog. The User Tools Add-in tab disappears after resetting the ribbon. The workaround there is to restart Inventor. Some more known issues on customization. There is no context menu on the gallery icons. You see here the 5 or 6 context menus will not show up in drawing symbols, for instance. You cannot reorder or undock panels, like I said before, when the ribbons are in the green status. So this applies to several contextual tabs, and I give here a couple of examples: 2D sketch, 3D sketch, stress analysis, AIT ribbons like core and cavity. And finally, the display sketch property toggle is a little bit hidden. You can only get there via, and one of the ways of doing it is by using the classic toolbar. I want to mention the fact that you don't have a context menu on these type of iFeature icons, and also in the drawing environment, in the symbols, you won't get any context menu. That's a limitation with this release. Concerning sketches, it is also interesting to point out that you cannot put a panel in floating mode when you're in the sketch environment. So the sketch environment here, which is green at this point, cannot you cannot drag any panels in that mode. A hidden command is the sketch property switch. You can reach it in an indirect manner. And finally, I want to mention something about the menu repaint problems that you might have seen in 2009 and 2010. So it's not specific to 2010 by any means. A couple of scenarios in which this can happen. First of all, if you open an Inventor session with a double click from Windows Explorer, but this is a problem only visible in 2009. The toolbar and menu bar is not repaint correctly after resolve link error has occurred. Graphic screens and ribbon panels sometimes go blank when you use the exclude from simulation command in FEA environment. And there is an API call called screen updating. When you use the highest color depth settings on Vista only, you cannot refresh the screen with this call. So this is the end of my presentation, and I hope I've given you two valuable items. One, how to exploit the hidden features of the Ribbon UI to your own benefit, and two, how can you stay clear from the existing issues by giving you some workarounds. Thank you.